everyone. Glad everybody can be here for our safety meeting for the Alabama Bass Nation Junior Division for February the 18th, this Saturday at beautiful Lake Eufaula. I hope everyone's had a good break since our last tournament. Seemed like it was a pretty good time back and, had all the holidays and everything. So hope everybody's got their boats in working order and dusted off and ready to go. For any of you that may have been in attendance or watched online, our high school event this past weekend at Lake Eufaula was really great. The fish are biting really well, and I'm hoping this weekend it will continue. Great fishing. I hope for this tournament. First off, I'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors. Daiwa is a big sponsor, and we're proud to have them aboard with us for this tournament. And also Eufaula, Barber County Chamber of Commerce. Without them, that we would not be able to get this put on. They help us out a lot, and we really appreciate that. All right, let's get started. Also, I want to thank Chris Tate for all he does with our media and our pictures and everything. Does a great job to showcase our anglers. So anglers, if you're out practicing during the week or even during the tournament on Saturday and you catch some fish, we have a number here that you can text those pictures to Chris, include some headings, your names and everything, and a little title or something down beneath that you may want him to share. Just send that to him and he'll be more than willing to get that out. And that way we can get all our anglers showcased as much as possible. All right, let's get into the rules here. First rule is very important. We cover this a lot. I know we seem like we kind of beat this to death, but it's a very important rule. We have a check-in rule. At the end of the day, you must check in. We've got a person on the dock there at the check-in flag. Even if you don't have fish, you must check in with them before you go load your boat. That way we know that everybody is off the water by the end of the day. If some reason you have some malfunctions or breakdown and you can't get there, please call me, Scott, or Daryl, and we can make arrangements to get you checked out. And we'll get those numbers here in just a bit. All right, official practice started this morning, February the 13th, Monday morning at daybreak. You can only be on the water with competitors and your boat captains for this weekend. That official practice ends Friday at 4 o'clock. Everyone needs to get off the water at 4 and proceed on over to the Bass Nation trailer at Lake Point Marina, where we will be ready to do flag pickup and get you your flight cards so you can go ahead and go eat supper and get turned into the night for the night and get ready for the tournament the next morning. If you're not able to pick up your flags on Friday afternoon, we can make arrangements for you to get them at the trailer on Saturday morning from 5:30 till 6. You need to be there. We'll be there at 5:30, so if you can, come on up, get that done. The ladies will have to leave the trailer to come down to do blast off with us, so you need to get that done as early as you can. When you pick up your flags, make sure that the numbers on the flag match your registration cards and that your names are correct on there as well. Just a little reminder that we are on Central Time, so make sure that you know that and don't get confused because the lake will, the location of the lake will swap over from tower to tower if you're using cell phones, and it's easily to get confused. Lake Point does have an honor box for boat ramp fees, so make sure you take care of that and display your ticket in the window of your vehicle. They do go around and check for that, so make sure you've got that done. Go back to the flags. Just make sure that the boat flags are visible at all times during the day and for our staff when you come through boat check. That way we can check you off so we know that you're on the water. We're anticipating blast off to be between 6:15, 6:30, just depending on light conditions at the time. So when you come through, we get started, the boat check. We need to make sure that all life jackets are on, zipped, and attached to the anglers and the boat captain. That's important, and we're going to be checking for other things in the boat as well. But as you ease out, we want you to make sure you're keeping safe distance between you and the other boats in front of you so you don't run over each other. First flight is going to be due back at 2 o'clock, and you're in 10-minute increments. So make sure that You know what time you're due back, and you're able to get back on time. No wake zones. These are just some areas that I wanted to cover. The Lake Point Basin, anything inside the marina and over at the other ramp is no wake. And also any overhead structures such as railroad bridges, regular road bridges, bridges in all the creeks, anything like that is no wake. It should be posted, but just keep in mind that that is a no wake, and they will be out looking and will give you a ticket. Next slide, off limits, Lake Point Basin, nothing inside there where we'd be weighing in, and also around at the big ramp on the other side near the highway is also off limits. Chihuahua Creek Marina next to the Coast Guard station is off limits, and the engineering station on the east side near the dam at the south end is also off limits. As you're blasting off, going through Kawiki Creek. Make sure you stay inside the channel markers, no passing, keep the speed limit around 55 so everybody can get out safely. There's some narrow spots in there, and we just want you to take it easy. I know sometimes some boats may be going slower, and to prevent a log jam basically in there, you are able to pass, but just do it safely. But try to, if everybody's going the right speed, you should not pass till you get out to the river. Size limit, 14 inches on largemouth and spotted bass is 14 inches across the board. Make sure that you measure those fish correctly, because it is a 1 pound penalty, along with you not getting to weigh that fish. So it's a pretty costly penalty. When you're measuring those fish, make sure the mouth is closed and the tail is fanned. That would help measure that fish. When we bump the fish, we have the mouth closed. We'll fan the tail, and we'll pinch the tail, move the tail to try to get it to measure. We'll do everything that we can, but just make sure that it's 14 inches. 5 fish per boat, and when the 6th fish is caught, you must cease fishing and cull down to the 5th fish, and then fishing can begin again. Check in at the end of the day. We'll be at the gas dock at the marina like always. There'll be a flag up with a guy there. Make sure you get close enough to him and yell at him what's your boat number. Make sure he can tell what boat number you are. Just make sure he got that information. And if you're leaving early, again, like I said, you can call Scott, myself, or Daryl to check out of the tournament. Just make sure you let us know what your boat number is so we can reference that on the flight sheet. This is a water weigh-in only. No trailering. If you come around and you have trailered to weigh in, we will send you back to put you back in the water. Absolutely no trailer weigh in for this tournament. If you're caught trailering and somebody spots you, they can protest you, and if it is, you can be disqualified for doing that. So make sure that you only weigh in by water. You must also use our weigh-in bags. So when you get tied off, come up and get our weigh-in bags and put your fish in and proceed to the scales. And we'll have more specific directions on that on further into the slides. The weigh-in will be at the Lake Point Marina, like always, and plenty of opportunities to take pictures. Parents of the kids on the stage or behind the trailer, so we'll make ample time for that. There is a Remind app for this division. It's the junior division. Just do the procedures on that, and that way, in case there's some information that needs to go out, Daryl can get it to you, and that information is going to be on this next slide. But I'm going to go ahead and cover. Scott's number is here. My number is on here, and Daryl's number is on here. So if you need any of us for anything, just give us a call and let us know what's going on. The next slide has our Remind app information. Please look it over. And if you need this information, I highly suggest that you go in and sign up for it so Daryl can get information to you. If things are changing at the moment, he's able to send this out to you to let you know what's going on. All right, blast off procedure first thing in the mornings. This is something we need to cover real well. It could be some of y'all's first tournament, and you may not understand some of the stuff we're doing, but if you'll go ahead and launch your boat at the ramp, you can do that at either ramp, the one at the 4-lane highway or the one over on the other side of the store or next to the lodge. You can easily put the boat in at either one of those locations. And then when you do that, proceed to the staging area that's inside the marina. And we got a little slide here that'll show you which side to line up based on your boatman. In order to make this quick, make sure you're in the right positions, get behind boats that are ahead of you. If your boat, 50, you don't need to be up there with boat number one. Get in the back to where number 50 should be. We're going to have speakers you'll be able to hear. And we repeat a lot of things several times just in case those in the back can't hear. When they get closer, they'll be able to hear it. So there'll be plenty of time to hear everything that we're going on. Plus, if you're watching this video like you should, everything's really covered in here, but we just want to make sure that everybody can hear it. As you come up to the docks, anglers, don't stick out your arm. You could break your arm if the boat gets slammed into the dock. Just keep your arms inside the boat and don't do that. We need you to idle to the full length of the dock on both ends. That way everybody can do the boat check. We have several people, couple on one side, couple on the other, that will be looking for certain things in the boat. And this will help let them be able to check, but just get as close as you can to the dock without hitting it. The items that we're going to be doing when we do boat check, of course, we're checking for the boat flag that is attached to the boat. We don't really have a standard position for this, but just make sure where you put it is visible all through the day. When you come through check, we should be able to see it. The ladies are checking you off to make sure you're on the water. And if other anglers are on the water, they need to be able to see it as well during the day. Next item is running lights are up and on. Even if it's daylight, we are required to make sure that your running lights are up and on. If they are not, we will pull you off to the side and you will have to fix them and we will not be able to leave until they're fixed. It may be a good idea to have some battery powered lights to put up just in case you have issues. Live wheels must be open and running when you come through. That way we can check those. Life jackets must be buckled and fastened when you come through. That's anglers and boat captains, both. Y'all need to have all that attached and ready to go. Boat captains, your kill switch must be attached. Do not pull it, but we do want to see it. So as you're coming through, just lift up the lanyard so our guys can see it. And usually that's one of the last things they're checking for as you go through. So make sure you got that up to where it's visible. I check it a lot of times, and some of them you just can't see, but just lift them up the best you can without pulling the kill switch. We need to make sure that you have them on. If any of the items that we just went over are not done, we will pull you over behind the dock to get those corrected. The last staff member on the boat dock will check and tell you that it's clear to go, so just listen out for that. But idle all the way through. Don't get in too big of a hurry and hit boats in front of you, but you need to idle all the way out of the marina until that first buoy, then you can leave from there. Do not take off in the marina. All right, boat captains, do's and don'ts. For the junior division, boat captains, you can run the trolling motor. You can help tie tackle. You can help net fish. You can cull and manage fish care, and you can teach and instruct. The thing that you cannot do is you cannot fish or handle rods and reels. If you get caught doing that, that is an automatic DQ. And just don't do anything that makes it appear that you're fishing. If you just stand up, grab a rod, they're passing it off to you, and then all of a sudden somebody comes around the corner and sees you with a rod and reel in your hand, they think you're fishing. So there's not a lot you can do about that. If you get a picture taken of you with a rod and reel in your hand, we assume you're fishing. So don't do that. All right. Back at the end of the day, when you're coming in and you're doing time, come in, check in with our guy that's at the dock, and make sure that you are checked in. Tell him your boat number so he can get you checked off at the correct time. Tie up to the dock, and then send one angler up to get a weigh-in bag. It needs to be one of our bags. We will not weigh it in your bag. So to keep from having to transfer that over, just might as well send them on up there in order to get one of our bags, because we will not weigh them in your bag. Put your fish, make sure the anglers, you put the fish in the correct bag, in the net bag, and fill the black bag with water. Make sure they're in there tucked in real good so they don't jump out while you're on the dock coming up to us, because if they jump out and go in the water, if you waste you wasted your day catching a fish that can't be weighed now. So we'll be real careful of that. Take your bag up to the tanks. They will instruct you what to do from there. When you get to the bump man, he will take your flag. You need to bring your boat flag up when you come from your boat. The boatman will take your flag and he's going to check for dead fish. He's going to count your fish and he's going to measure your fish. So that's what he's going to do, and he's going to record those results. Then you just wait in the staging tank for the MC to announce your name. Then you're going to come on up stage. You'll tell the guy at the scales, your weighmaster, if you want to do a big fish. I know it gets kind of loud and confusing up on stage. You can't hear, but make sure the weighmaster hears you that you want to do a big fish. Even if you have to grab him on the elbow and get his attention, just do that. We want to make sure we get those big fish weighed in. And while you're interviewing with the MC on stage, this is your stage time. Thank your sponsors, your family, boat captains. You need to know your boat captain by name because we want to thank them for doing what they're doing. Parents, feel free to take pictures. This is an opportunity for you to take pictures. We won't be able to take pictures of all the fish on stage. We'll do, several of them, the big bags or anything that's special, like a big fish or something like that. But parents, we may have to get the fish at the back of the trailer after they get off stage. So what we want you to do there is proceed to the back of the stage as quick as possible once they come off and get them lined up to get the picture, because we need to get those fish into the fish care trailer as soon as possible. We don't want any more stress on those fish than necessary. All right, first thing in the morning, here's the slide of how to come in and park. It's pretty elementary. And we're not going to have a lot of boats. I think we're right at about 90 boats for this weekend so far. And there's plenty of room to park here at Lake Point. So basically all you got to do is not stop and back up traffic as you come through, but pay attention to the way the arrows are going around the parking lot, because if you go the wrong way, you will cause a road jam, and that's not what we're wanting. Go ahead and put in and idle around to the marina. Also, here is a shot. This is the secondary boat ramp. This boat ramp is the one that's located closest to the lodge on the other side of marina. It holds quite a few. It's a good place to put in as well. But again, make sure you come in the right way and get your boats taken care of as quick as possible and don't cause any roadblocks. All right, as you leave those ramps, you can tell by this slide here how you proceed into the marina basin. And remember, it is no wake inside this basin. So make sure that you are idling as you come in the mouth. And as you see here, boats number 1 through 48 must stage to the left, and that is to the direction of the highway, the big ramp. So that one's on the big ramp side next to the highway. Go to that side. If you're boat 49 and above, go to the right. That's going to be the closest side to the small ramp and to the lodge. So just come in there and stage up. And again, just get in line the best you can so we can proceed on through the boat check. Next slide, we're going to start, of course, with boat number 1 and proceed up from there. And you can see how they are coming through the line on this slide. I have to commend the high school boat captains for doing an excellent job this past weekend and doing what they did. They did this very similar to the same structure here, and they did an excellent job. Really appreciate that. And junior captains, I expect the same out of y'all. And it's really, really easy to do. So just make sure you're staying out of everybody's way. I don't need boats right there in the middle where the boats are trying to come through to get out of the marina. So make sure you clear that area, get in line, and ease through boat check, and make sure you get everything checked. Cowicky Creek, this is just a little map of it. Again, we wanted you to do 55 miles an hour, no faster than that. Stay single file, trying to get out of there through the poles till you get to the river channel. If the boat's in front of you going really, really slow and it's bogging everything down, you can pass, but just do it very safely because some of those turns are pretty narrow in there. Off limits, you can see right here, the marina is off limits inside the basin. and off limits at the other basin and the boat ramp. So those three areas right there is off limits, along with Kawiki, the other marina over at the Coast Guard station. It needs to be off limits, and also the engineering station on the southeast side, on the Georgia side, at the south end of the lake is also off limits. So check those, make sure you're not in those areas fishing. Next slide, as you come in at the end of the day, our guide is going to be on the end of the gas dock where we're blasting you off in the morning. They're going to be doing check-in at this point. Make sure you check in. Even if you don't have fish, this is where you come to check in, and then you can go load up your boat. But don't bypass this. Even if you try to call or text us, we need you to come in, because once weigh-in starts, it's hard for me and Scott to answer that phone, and we don't need to be answering the phone just because you didn't want to come in and do boat check and check out. We need you to come into this guy here that's going to be on this dock and doing the check, because we can't always answer the phone. So be aware of that. Again, guys, that's our slideshow for the day. We really appreciate y'all joining us this weekend. Parents, please come out and force. It should be a pretty weather weekend this weekend. We're looking for some good weather. So hopefully everything will be great, and everybody bring out their tents and let's have a good time. Again, if you have any issues or anything, junior anglers, email the ABN Junior Anglers email address, and they will get the questions out to who needs to answer them. And if you have a question for me or Scott or Daryl, just please give us a call, and we will be glad to help you. So again, thanks for everyone. We're looking forward to seeing you on Saturday or Friday afternoon for flag pickup, and then Saturday morning for the tournament. See y'all then.